The toxic games that toxic people play with you, or simply the games that people play with you, the games that people play with you, the toxic games that toxic people play with you, and how to disarm them, how to disarm the game, how to disarm the toxic people who play these games with you. It's quite funny, because it's all about control, right? It's about controlling the narrative of who you are. It's about controlling the narrative of what you're allowed to be, what you're allowed to feel, what you're allowed to think. It comes down to this. What is it that you as a person is allowed to be from another person's perspective? Which means that this is a highly toxic thing. Why should another person determine what you're allowed to be? You're an endless being full of endless possibilities. Why should other people believe that they have the power or the position or the justification to decide who you are? Of course they have not. They don't have that, but they think that they have it unconsciously. Subconsciously they think that they have it, so they play games with you. And the toxic games that toxic people play with you are like this. They want to control who you are supposed to be, who you have the right to be, who you are. They are controlling the narrative of who you are. So when you're in a meeting or in a relationship with a toxic person, the thing that you can do is this. It's a quite funny thing, and it's a shocking thing to the narcissist, to the toxic person who doesn't know how narcissistic they are, who doesn't know how toxic they are. It's just in a conversation. You're just simply in a conversation. And then you just feel the toxic. You can just feel the toxic approach from them. You know that what they are doing is actually they are reducing you. They are wanting to put you in a box. They want to control the narrative of who you are. They want to control the situation. Whether it's a professor of philosophy or a professor of biology or a mother or a father or a sister or a brother or a husband or a wife or a person in a grocery store, it doesn't matter. These games happens all the time, and we subject each other to it at times, and it's a highly untasteful and a highly uncivilized form of communication, or let's say a form of interaction. It's a highly uncivilized and very impolite and highly toxic way of behaving with each other, of relating to each other. So when people are controlling you, when people are telling you who you are, when people are wanting to control the narrative of your life, of who you are and what you're supposed to be and what you're allowed to be, what you're supposed to think, what you're allowed to think, what you're supposed to feel, what you're supposed to be allowed to feel, then you can just do this. Do this exercise with them. Just say that, yes, of course, I understand that, but we are not playing that game right now. And they will be completely confused. Your partner will be completely confused. Hey, what do you mean game? We're not playing a game here. This is not a game. Oh, yes, we are. We're playing a game. Are you crazy? They will answer. What kind of a game we're playing? We're not playing a game here. What do you mean? What kind of a game? Well, we're playing the game that we're playing here in this interaction. In our little meeting here, we're playing a game. The toxic person will say, well, what kind of a game is it? And you can just say, well, we're playing the game where you are supposed to be right. We're playing the game where you are supposed to have the right to be right. We're playing the game where you think that you're better than me. we're playing the game where you give yourself the right to allow who I am. To allow, we're playing the game where you give yourself the right to decide who I am and who I'm supposed to be in this conversation. We're playing the game where you want to control the narrative of who we are, of who I am, and of who you are, and about the truth of the topic that we discuss. That's the game that we're playing. We're playing the game where you are feeding yourself. We are playing the game where you are giving yourself the right to control the narrative. And the narcissist or the toxic person who plays these toxic games with you will go completely white in the face. They will become pale as a skeleton, white as a corpse, and they will probably not look you straight in the eye because they will be shocked to see themselves, how toxic they are, or at least they should be ashamed of themselves. And that this is toxic abuse in communication. This is toxic abuse in human interaction. We are playing the game of who is supposed to be right. We are playing the game of one person giving up himself in order to serve the other person's needs, right? There's one person who is codependent, giving himself up to serve the other person. And there's one narcissist who wants to control the narrative and who is not afraid of letting the other person get hurt by that narrative. That is a toxic person. The toxic person wants to control the narrative. The toxic person wants to say to you that, well, this is who you are. This is what you think. This is what you believe. And you or your inner child or your instinct or your emotion, your feelings will say, no, that's not who I am. I'm a lot more than that. But in order for the relationship to survive, in order for the meeting to not collapse, sometimes you just have to accept that. And perhaps you can say it with a smile. Yeah, of course, yeah, we're just playing the game where you're supposed to be right. That's okay. I can accept that. I can accept that we're playing the game where you're supposed to be right. It's all right. No problem, sweetie. I'll give you that chance. I'll give you the chocolate feeling. I'll give you the caramel. I'll give you the sugar and the honey. I will give you the thing that you need, sweetie baby, to control this narrative. I know that you like it. I know that you want to feel superior. I know that you want to feel that you're in control of this situation and that you, through your false identity self, tries to control me. That's all right, baby. You're worth it. Go for it. But next time, I think I might choose another partner. Next time, I think I'll talk to myself or to a person who is not just as toxic as you are, because I'm quite fed up, actually, of all the games that you're playing with me. Because you're not superior. You're not the person who knows best. You're a person who's quite blind and toxic, and you're a little bit narcissist. Do you understand that, sweetie? Can you see it? How you want to control the narrative of everything, simply because you're afraid to see the truth about yourself or about any other kind of situation. Well, it's a funny thing. We shouldn't let it go too far, but toxic people want to control you, and if they are not allowed to control you, they will either freak out or blame you. They will call you the narcissist. Hey, I'm not the narcissist, you are, because you don't allow me to control you. You are so selfish. You are so selfish because you don't allow me to control you. Just look at that argument, right? I want to control you. I want to have the right to control you, but I'm not selfish. But you are selfish because you see through my tactics. You see through my strategy. And I would blame you for being selfish. You're not. I'm the person who's selfish. I'm the person who's blindly selfish. But people don't want to see that. They don't want to see themselves. They don't want to see that the activity inside their own brains is about one thing and one thing only. Wanting to be right, in relationships. And they want that simply because they are toxic. And why are they toxic? They are toxic because they live in some kind of complex PTSD as a result of an unresolved issue inside themselves, and of course because of lack of self-knowledge. They don't know who they are, they don't know what they are, they don't know what life is. So the only thing that they can do is to try to control it. That's what people with less quality, that's what people with less quality do. That's what people with less knowledge do. That's what people with less understanding do. They want to control you because they don't have anything else to do. That's all they can give. They cannot give knowledge to the world. They cannot give competence to the world. They cannot give beneficial, appropriate authority to issues that deserve exploration, that deserves investigation. They cannot give anything like that because they don't have anything to give. So the only thing that they can do is to try to control the situation. Professors in university are a very good example. Mothers and fathers who are hurt inside themselves are also a very good example. Husbands and wives who are jealous are a very good example, because if you're jealous, then you want to control the other person. Then it means that you want to control the situation. You're jealous, and you're jealous because of course, we don't have to go into that. Everybody understands the reason why we're jealous. Because we're afraid to lose something. We're afraid to lose the control over a domain. We're afraid to lose access to a domain. We're afraid to whatever. But when those feelings comes, we can become toxic too. Everyone can become toxic. You could say that of all the things that we believe into existence, of all the things that we believe into existence, the funny things are the most funny. Or of all the things that we believe into existence, the good things are the best. That's quite a good one. Of all the things that we believe into existence in this life, among all the things that we constantly or very often believe into existence, the good things are the best. All right. Thank you.